Hello, everyone. So today I'm joined by Alexiel. Welcome to the channel, Alexiel.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And we're going to talk about the spiritual nature of psychedelics. And I think that'll branch off into some other topics. So, Alexiel, I've known you for a good bit of time, and we've talked about psychedelics, but I'd like you to explain to people, how you got started into psychedelics and how they became a part of your spiritual practice. How did that begin? Because we don't hear a lot about that.
Right. Well, first of all, I was a Christian. I was a pagan recovering Christian. I had returned to Christianity from paganism at this time. So, I was very Christian, and, a lot of my friends were experimenting with different substances. And, a close friend of mine, he was really close with someone who did the psychedelic stuff. And so he had ecstasy and LSD and all that stuff constantly. And he was constantly trying to make me try drugs, and I was always shunning him away, basically. And it was just a constant cycle. And one day he comes in and he's like, oh my God. He's like pretty much going crazy. And I've seen him like this before, but it was a little more than usual. But he was like, oh my God, you have to try this. You have to try this. And I was like, what? And he's like, dude, it's DMT. You have to do this. You have to do this. He's like, you go to another dimension and all this shit. And I'm like, okay. Well, I was like, I promised my parents that I would never smoke cigarettes, and now I smoke weed. I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to try something that's just 3 letters. And, and so he's like, he talked to me about it a lot. And, there's a Joe Rogan video, that kind of went viral when all this kind of shit started.
Yes.
He forced me to watch that video, and hearing it from an intelligent person, it piqued my interest a little more, because I was like, okay, this isn't just my druggy friend. This is a television personality. And that led me to do more research into the origin of it. And that's how I learned about ayahuasca and, how shamans have been doing it for thousands of years. And this had never occurred to me before, especially as a Christian. You're told all drugs are bad. And so, like, it was really a contradictory vision to hear that, wait a minute, people do drugs for spiritual reasons? Like, that just didn't make sense to me. And it was like, I knew it was the universe, because literally, soon as my mind clicked, that I was like, maybe I would do this. Maybe I would try it. It was that very night, my friend comes in, he's like, hey, you want to try DMT? And I'm like, when? Like now? He's like, yes. And it coming to you like that, I'm like, I'm not sure. I haven't really decided, like literally, I just had that thought. And, he was like, this is a now or never kind of thing, once in a lifetime opportunity. And I was like, you're right. I have to try it. And, so I went with these people, and, they were very nice people. It was a very close friend of my friend. So it was kind of like trust by, I knew my best friend loved this guy. So I was like, I love you, maybe. Yeah. And, we go to his house, and, he's got his girlfriend with him too. And it's a big thing. Like, looking back on this now, these guys had not done it a lot either. It was like a very new thing. Like, no one had done it a lot yet, And, so he was like trying to get his girlfriend to try it, and she was really scared. So it was like 2 scared people and 2 excited people. And like, they were like, you have to do this. You have to do this. And we were like, okay, let's do this. And, the very first thing, he wrote me a little cigarette of it, because I was not going to even approach the necessary dose,
What did
and
it look
neither was,
like? Like, what was it like? Was it kind of like weed, or what did it look like?
it's just like it's like, to me, and I'm telling you, like, my first thought when I saw it for the first time, it looked like dried tree sap, like amber crushed up. It's a very gold, sticky, waxy looking substance.
Hmm.
Looks like it's straight out of a tree. Like, you would believe that someone like scooped this out of a tree and dried it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not how it happens, but that's what I first thought when I saw it. And, you kind of like, there's many different ways to use it, but, they layered it with weed. And what they did with me and the girl, what they did, they rolled it into an actual cigarette for us, because we wanted to not only be able to like do small amounts of it and see what it did to us, but we didn't want marijuana to interact with what we were experiencing. So, they gave us a little tiny thing, and we were sharing it, and they're straight out like smoking a bowl on the floor. Me and his girlfriend are on the bed. They gave us the comfy seat because we were scared, and I'm at this time praying to Jesus because that's who I prayed to at the time. And I'm like really scared because like Christianity puts so much fear in you about, okay, this is wrong. Like, but I really, like, my soul believes this is right. So I was like, Jesus, guide me, like, let me know if I'm doing something wrong, please, because I don't want to offend you on purpose. Like, I literally believe this is the right thing. And, we barely got any effects from the amount we used. But the main thing that I did notice from that first experience were these voices from inside telling me to not be afraid. Like, they were voices that were familiar to me. That's the craziest thing that you'll hear from all these experiences. It's the familiarity. It was voices that I understood from the other side. And even though I had never heard them in my mortal life, I knew them and trusted them and was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. So it was a whole thing that, okay, we want you to really, really experience it now. And, so like I was the last guy because
Well, one thing. So when you say from the other side, was it like people that you knew that had passed, or?
no, like just like some entities. Like I couldn't tell you who they were, but it was like either my spirit guides or at the time my perspective was like they're angels because I had a super Christian point of view. And, but looking back on it now, like, it could have been any one of the entities because, it could have just been the doorkeeper, like, hello, welcome to DMT lands, it could have been anyone special, but, I knew them. It was like my heart. And so, I was ready to try the heavier dose after that. And I was the last guy because it was the two best friends and the best friend's girlfriend. And then the random guy who was just like, hey, we just want you to try it. And so, I'm waiting very patiently. And the way it is smoked is actually a complicated thing. So like the master guy, he's like, I'm doing it first. He's showing us the technique and all that crap. And, it slowly gets to me and like I'm waiting for my friend to use it and he hits it and it explodes. Something happens. I don't know what happens. It's like a weed seed pops. I don't know what happens, but it explodes and he just kind of shrugs like, I don't know what to tell you and hands me the bow and I'm just watching everyone on DMT and I'm just like, just my luck. And, at the time they didn't have a screen, so they had put a Reese's wrapper, the aluminum foil Reese's wrapper in the bottom. And I look in the pipe and it's dark. So I'm like, it's just the Reese's wrapper. Damn. And I'm like looking around on the floor, like, I don't even know what to do. This just sucks. And when people are tripping, there's like all this etiquette. Like I can't just get up and leave. I have to sit here quietly until they're done. And so I'm like just sitting there pretty upset. And, I look at the bowl and I flash my lighter into it. And I realize it's not an aluminum foil wrapper in the bowl. It is DMT now melted in the shape of the aluminum foil wrapper. So I was like, wait a minute. So I hit this and the thing, this is not how you are supposed to do it. You're definitely supposed to have something in there, protecting it. Or like it'll catch on fire or burn up. It's not very useful. But it was my first time ever. I didn't know all that information. And so I just hit it and it caught on fire and I took one hit and I was there. And it was the Thai Buddha and he was sitting in the middle of a multicolored chrysanthemum unfolding before me. And literally like, it was like most people when they have a DMT experience, it's like, oh my God, oh my God. It was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, okay. That was it. It was like I was turned on and I was on and I like got up and, I was telling everyone like, you can't believe what I just saw. And they're all like, no, we know what you just saw. I'm like, no, you can't possibly believe what I just saw. And they're like, no, we know what you just saw. Just calm down. I'm like, I am calm. And, that was a whole thing of like, really in a reawakening to what the spirit realm could be even. You know, it was more than just angels. Thai Buddha was there. I didn't believe in Buddha, but here was Buddha, you know what I mean?
So
And
how long did you see this this vision? Like how long did it last? Do you think?
literally, like the way DMT works is like, you know, if you keep your eyes closed, different things will happen. You'll usually progress to something else. But at that time, I was literally so stricken by astonishment that I couldn't just lay there and take it. It was like, okay, that was Thai Buddha. Like, I gotta like, whoa, hold on, you know.
And did
So,
they know what you? How did they know what you saw?
well, I mean, they didn't really know what I saw, but they understood the gravity of what it is, because that's really the thing with DMT is, you know, you can explain it to people as much as you want. And I watched so many videos, you know, like I was pretty sure about this before I tried it, like, and I knew the effects before I tried it. But when you have the effects, you're just like, no, no fucking way. No, that's not possible. And your brain, I mean, after, you know, 20 years of concrete reality, you know, you just open the door and you realize there's a door and you're like, wait a minute, wait, what? And it's like, literally, it's literally, as someone once said, it's like you live your whole life in a dim room and then someone turns on the lights. It's like you have acclimated your entire reality to your perceptions that you've had, and they have not changed. So you're pretty sure of what's going on, and then you see colors and you're like, what's color? Like, that doesn't make sense. And it really makes you think about a lot more stuff, because like really your perceptions limit you so much. Like and colors are a pretty good example, because a lot of people talk about seeing extra colors when they have these experiences. And that's kind of like one of the kinds of things that really points to like realizing how limited you are, and that the spirit realm could be literally directly in front of you, but your brain is not created to see that, you know? It doesn't even have to be another dimension. It may not be.
It sounds like Plato's allegory of the cave for sure. And
Right.
so what I would like me trying it, what I'd be afraid of is if like I see something and then my body is doing something else, that like if I jump out of like do you feel a need to move when you're seeing something? Do you need to
Well,
act?
I will say, because I've obviously studied this a lot, and I tried salvia. Salvia is really the common
Ooh.
one where people move a lot.
Oh, that was
Uh,
awful, man. I've
yeah,
tried that.
DMT is not like that. And I will say, in fact, I did an experiment, because, like with DMT, literally, for the longest amount of time, I was like so perfect at it. Like I literally laid there with my arms on my chest like a corpse, and just like, even if I was going to hell and being ravaged by demons, I was just like, but with salvia, it was like, no matter what, no matter how much I had grounded myself, I was scared and I had to move, no matter
So,
what.
so
And
do you have to ground yourself before you take DMT, or are you just like so consumed by the vision that you will probably sit still? Uh,
uh, and I only know this from, getting other people to try it, but I really feel like you really do need to meditate before, because, in my early days, I really felt like, because I had such a spiritual reaction to it, and you read that people have such a spiritual reaction to it, that you think that this is the spiritual reaction. Here, give it to someone. And it doesn't really work that way. If you are not spiritual, usually you will not have a spiritual experience, which is, it's not always, because, in fact, the person who introduced me to this, he was a complete atheist before he discovered DMT. So that's not always. But if you cannot give in or ground yourself, I don't really feel like you can benefit from it. I've given it to people, and they can literally like smoke 100 times more than you, and they're just like, nothing's happening. I don't see anything. Like, you know, and some people that like, they can break through, and they're just like, oh, I just saw patterns and stuff, you know, polka dots. I'm like, I saw Jesus being nailed to the cross, bro. What? Like, you know, and I had to learn that maybe it is a thing that, not everyone, is going to have the same experience. But like for a spiritual person, it is definitely the thing for them if they're already spiritually inclined.
That makes sense. So, like later on in your practice, when you really figured out how to do it, when to do it, um, I guess you can just say a little bit about the process that you didn't know initially. We of course talk about not smoking it with a wrapper or something like that, but how do you use it as a part of like your spiritual path as you are an advanced person along your spiritual path with psychedelics? How would you recommend using it to somebody who just explain it to somebody who doesn't understand exactly how to do it? Because I think information is very vital as far as consuming this, because we want to know from an actual person who has done it and who has experimented with it for a very long time. So,
well, basically, the best way is, and this is for me, it's very personal. I found the easiest way is to use an herb. I usually use, like when I smoked weed a lot, I used weed on everything. But as I got older, I've found real herbs. There are other herbs.
yeah.
I use chamomile and lavender sometimes, but basically you want to have a bed of an herb because when it heats up, it liquefies. So if you don't have anything below it, it will just melt into whatever you're using, like into your pipe, and will be completely useless. And I also like to put a layer of herb on top of it after you put your dose, which is not completely necessary, but it actually takes a severe level of skill to melt it from the top without catching it on fire if there's no barrier there. So a barrier kind of helps. And as far as how I use it, it's very, very many different ways. Um, and I feel like that's a big thing. People are, when you hear about DMT, they're really all about the breakthrough, entities, another dimension. There are so many levels before that are spiritually useful. Like, just that, two small hits is beautiful for meditation. You're like at a level where it is spiritually opening, but not visually distracting. It's beautiful for meditation. But when it comes to the breakthrough, like there are levels of the breakthrough, and really, I feel like the main thing when it comes to DMT is knowing your intent, like why you are using it. There are many different uses. Like sometimes you're having problems, or sometimes you just need to feel connected. Many different reasons. And usually, and I know it sounds crazy for people who have not used it, but the entities there will tell you if you're using it correctly or not. Like if you use it too much or for the wrong reason, they're not quiet about it. They're quick to shoot you down if they think you're misusing it too. This is not something you can just play around with.
If you have some severe like inner demons, do you think that DMT can really bring out some kind of subversive like feelings and like things you haven't resolved? Can it bring out something negative in you to make you look at it, or does it not do something like that?
Well, I would say, basically DMT, that's like one of the things that is amazing at, is helping people work through like traumatic events in the past in a healthy way. It's not like, a lot of people will have like, with LSD, for instance, is a good example because it kind of opens the same parts of the brain, but it is not guided by any kind of intelligence. LSD is a drug. You take a drug, it affects your brain. And if you go to a negative place that will consume you, you'll have a negative experience. You'll have negative thoughts. Whereas DMT, if you're dealing with something like that, DMT brings that up to heal it, to help you work through it. There's an actual intelligence that somehow understands things that even human beings don't understand when it comes to medicine. Like, addiction is a very difficult thing to heal in people, but somehow those entities know how to heal addiction. Like they can literally, I even had an experience once where I was healed of cigarette addiction. Sadly, I relapsed soon because my landlord broke into my house and stole my television. But in the vision, I could literally see them going into my spinal cord and picking little pieces of like nicotine out of like where my receptors had been blocked for so long. And it was like I could feel the withdrawal coming out of my body. And whatever, amazing technologies they have, it's hard to imagine what it even is because like, that's the main thing to me with DMT is you think this is a drug and then you're like, okay, well, how am I communicating with entities then? Like, is this some kind of technology that I can't understand is technology because we haven't made technology like this yet, You think of technology as a piece of steel, but maybe, plants making chemicals to communicate through dimensions is some kind of vast technology that humans don't understand yet completely.
That makes a lot of sense. Hey, I want to thank you very much for joining me in this video. I feel like this is something we could talk about further in future videos, maybe make multiple parts because we got into a lot of your early experiences, some of your practice, but I feel like there's a lot of other aspects to your spiritual practice that work with similar things, and of course we can talk about Kalima in the future. At any rate, thank you very much for joining me.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And if anybody wishes to contact me, go to www.facebook.com/hunter.salazar. If you want to contact Alexiel through me, that's perfectly fine. Do you want to give a plug for anything, Alexiel, or would you rather just filter through me?
Oh, yes. You can hit me up at alexielrains.facebook. Also, check us out at Salbandia. We have a lot of herbal remedies and stuff like that you can check us out with. And me and my wife, we lead meditation classes. And if you have any information about this particular topic, feel free to reach out to us.
Excellent. Great to have you on. Everybody at home, we'll keep on talking, Alexiel, but everybody at home, thank you for watching. And I'll see all of you on the channel in the future.
Later.